On behalf of the entire MTS Japan team, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to you all and express our heartfelt thanks for your commitment to the Adventure Race Japan and through it, your sponsorship of our activities across the world.
You may be surprised to learn that the mission to Seafarers has been in Japan for over 143 years. Starting first in Yokohama in 1880, followed 10 years later, with the opening of a center in the port of Kobe in central Japan. We also worked for 36 years in the port of Tomakomai, in Hokkaido. Sadly, due to dwindling numbers of volunteers following the pandemic, our center there closed just last year. Thankfully, we have been able to open a new office in the port of Tokyo. That is now in its second year of operation.
Throughout this long history of our presence in this beautiful country, the Mission to Seafarers has provided a wide range of services to assist and support seafarers working on international vessels visiting Japan. For many years, in both Kobe and Yokohama, we provided accommodation for seafarers who were signing on or off their vessels, as well as a comfortable space for crew to take a break whilst in port. These centers not only served seafarers, but were a base for wider activities both within the local shipping community and for members of the expatriate community in the area.
Whilst providing accommodation is no longer a feature of our core activity here, we do continue our daily ship visits, offering support to seafarers on board their vessels. And in Yokohama and Kobe, an on-call shuttle service so that crew can get ashore for shopping and recreation. As well as providing a friendly welcome to crews, we also offer emergency assistance, counseling services, internet connectivity, and a wealth of contacts and connections to help and support seafarers with issues they may face.
And throughout the entire period of the pandemic, we continued with gangway visits to ships in order to maintain our contact with seafarers who were effectively trapped on their vessels. We brought them information, news, and gifts that helped them keep in touch with those on shore. And we have one or two unique connections that we'd like to share with you that further illustrate our work in Japan. Firstly, to Kobe.
Since the 1980s, we have been the home port in Japan for the PNTL fleet of fully British-flagged and crewed vessels, which transport nuclear material and reprocessed fuel from Europe to Japanese power stations. And with these vessels, and their cargo being so unusual, it has often meant they stayed alongside in port for extended periods, from 3 weeks to 3 months. The longest one vessel was berthed for was 10 months, very unusual indeed. But this meant we could form close relationships with the crew, and the mission really became their home away from home, and we became their family away from home. These long stays also meant crew could enjoy more of the normal, everyday things which seafarers on regular vessels usually cannot, such as having the chance to learn about local culture or experience real Japan and not just the bars and the clubs. Helping crew feel welcomed, at home, and able to find refreshment ashore, if they have the chance, is our mission. And that is the same for vessels which are in port for a number of months, days, or more likely, just hours.
And over in Yokohama, we have a very special working relationship with Port Medical Services, a medical agency that works with shipping companies to support crews who need medical assistance when in port. We're in regular contact with the port medical staff, who often ask us to support them. Over the years, this has ranged from providing emotional support to crews following a death on board, to the offer of English interpretation for a Japanese doctor who's struggling to understand the finer points of a strong Glaswegian accent. We regularly join the port medical team, visiting ships both in port and at anchorage, to help support seafarers who have sustained injuries or who are sick, and to provide support and counselling following the death of a crewmate. This may include prayers on board and the blessing of a vessel and her crew for their safe onward journey.
In partnership with our colleagues in over 200 ports, in 50 countries, MTS Japan is committed to its part in caring for seafarers around the world.